Hi there. Thank you for coming in. So, we do have on our records here that you have received multiple cranial nerve exams for a variety of reasons. So, we thought it would probably be best that we do a follow up on your cognitive function. So, that is why you're here today. Thank you again for being here. So, can I go ahead and just make sure that I have your name and information correct? Okay. First name? Perfect. Okay, and last name or surname? Okay. Perfect. And could I have your date of birth? Perfect. Okay, and about how many cranial nerve exams do you recall having this year? If it's too hard to remember all of them, just a ballpark range. Okay. Okay, and as I said, the reasons for your cranial nerve exams do vary. Can you list off any head trauma or accidents that might have had you bumping your head or your neck? Okay. And are you currently, or have you in the past 6 months, been having issues with your eyesight, vision, headaches, anything like that? Okay. Perfect. And did you receive any follow-up information for any of your cranial nerve exams? Okay, clean bill of health every time? Perfect. Okay. And what kind of exams were performed at your most recent cranial nerve exam? Just list off any that you can remember. Okay. Peripheral. Smell and taste. Good. Okay. They checked your pupils. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Dull and sharp. Perfect. Okay. And have you been feeling any sort of new symptoms in the past 3 to 4 weeks? Okay. Perfect. And how have you been feeling lately, mentally, emotionally? Have you been feeling good? Have you been feeling bad? You can give me as little or as much information as you'd like to. Absolutely, this is a safe space. Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, so to start off this examination, I do have some questions about your day and about your routines just to start everything off, okay? Perfect. Okay. Do you remember what time you woke up this morning? Okay. And would you say that is normal for you? Okay. And how often do you eat breakfast? Okay. And what did you have for breakfast today? Please list in as much detail as possible. Okay. And what was the very first thing you did this morning? Before you got out of bed or after you got out of bed, the first thing you remember doing this morning after your eyes opened and you were awake? Okay. Thank you. Perfect. And do you generally bathe in the morning or in the evening or in the afternoon? Okay. And how do you normally bathe? Shower, bath, like wipes? Okay. And how often? Once a week, every day, Twice a week? Okay. Perfect. Okay. And are you currently a student, or are you employed? Are you unemployed? What is the status of your day-to-day? Okay. And how many people would you say you come in contact with every day? Just an average number, 5, 100 people that you talk to? Okay. Yeah, that's totally normal. Okay. Perfect. And do you own any pets? Okay. And how many pets do you own? Okay. Perfect. How often would you say you travel? And would it normally be domestic or international? Okay. Perfect. And does your job or your learning career have you more outdoors or indoors? Okay. And this question might seem a little bit strange, but it actually has a lot of meaning behind it. What kind of arches do you have in your feet? Do you have very tall arches? Do you have flat feet? Would you say they're average? What kind of arches would you say you have? Okay. Perfect. Well, that is it for our preliminary questions. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the rest of the testing now, okay? Lovely. So most of these tests just have to do with how you perceive information. There will be no right or wrong answers for the sake of these questions, but please do just answer as honestly as you can, okay? Good. So let's start here. So you might be familiar with this type of chart from eye exams, but we're going to use it for a different purpose. So, do you see these little circles here on the bottom? Good. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about these circles, okay? Good. So could you please tell me which of these circles you think best represents the size of an eraser head that you'd find at the back of a pencil? Which of these circles would you say represents best the size of an eraser head? Which of these circles? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, thank you. Go back in again here. Which of these circles would you say best represents the size of a pea? A pea. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which one? Okay, very good. And which of these circles would you say best represents the size of a marble? A marble. Which of these represents the size of a marble? Okay, very good. Very good. We're going to get a little bit harder now. Which of these circles do you think best represents the size of your pupils right now? The size of your pupils right now. Which of these circles? Okay, very good. And which of these circles do you think best represents the size of a hamster's eyeball? A hamster's eyeball. Okay, very good. Thank you. So we're going to stick with this card for just a little while longer. I'd like for you to look up here now. Okay? Now, which of these numbers is representative of the last digit of the year you were born? Can you see the digit of the last year, of the last number of the year you were born? Okay, very good. Now, which sequence of digits here best represents a game that you can play? Which of these strings of digits here best represents a game you can play? Okay, very good. Very good. And which of these letters here, which of these letters in this sequence is the correct way to read it in the English language? Which of these three is the correct way to read it in the English language? Very good, thank you. Just gonna go ahead and note a couple of those here. Perfect. Okay. So now I have these little animals. Okay? Could you please tell me what this animal is? Good. And this one? Okay. And this one? Okay, very good. Now, can you tell me, in real life, which of these two animals would be larger? This one or this one? In real life, which of these two animals would be larger? This one or this one? Very good. Now, can you tell me which of these two animals would be more likely to be seen at a zoo? Which of these two animals would be most likely to be seen at a zoo? Okay? Now, in your opinion, which of these two animals would be most likely to be named Lewis? Which of these two animals would be most likely to be named Lewis? Very good. Thank you. Okay. I have some more animals here. So first is this one. What animal does this little silhouette represent? What animal does this silhouette represent? Very good. That is a cat. And what about this one? What animal does this silhouette represent? Okay, very good. This is an owl. An owl. Very good. And to the best of your ability, can you tell me what silhouette this animal is representing? Very good. That is a bear. Can you tell me, in your opinion, which of these two animals would be most likely to be seen as a stuffed animal? Good, okay. And of these two animals, which would you perceive as more wise? Which would you perceive as more wise? Okay. And of these two animals, which would you perceive as more independent? Independent. Which would you perceive as more independent? Very good. And of these two animals, which would you think to be a house pet? Which is more likely to be a house pet? This one or this one? Very good. Okay. And lastly, of these two animals, which one do you perceive to be cuter? Which one do you perceive to be cuter? This one or this one? Which do you perceive to be cuter? Okay, very good. Okay, now I'm going to hold up a series of colors that are going to look quite similar. Here we go. Here are two colors. If I were to tell you that one of them was named Merlot, which one would you think would be named Merlot? Okay, very good. And if I were to tell you that one of them was named Dusty Violet, which one would you think would be Dusty Violet? Okay. Now, which two colors are closer together in shade? These two colors? These two colors? Or these two colors? This combination here, or this combination here, which are more close in tone? Okay, very good. And what about this combination? Okay, just making sure. Very good. Now, if I was going to tell you that one of these was called grape juice, if I was going to tell you that one of these two colors was called grape juice, which color would you think would be called grape juice? Okay. And if I was going to tell you that one of these was called violet dusk, which would you choose? Okay. Thank you. Perfect. I have a couple more colors now. If I told you that one of these colors was called dandelion, one of these colors was called dandelion, which color would you think was called dandelion? This one or this one? Okay, and if I told you that one of these was called golden sun, which would you choose? This one or this one? Good. Okay, and now, if I was to tell you that one of these was called curry, yellow curry, which would you choose? This one or this one? Okay. And if I were to tell you that one of these was called whipped honey, which would you choose? This one or this one? Okay. Now once again, which two colors are closer in tone? These two colors or these two colors? Okay, very good. Now, of these two colors, if you were to designate one as cheerful and one as, let's say, pondering, cheerful or pondering, which would you designate? Which color would be cheerful? Which color would be pondering? Okay, very good. And of these two colors, which would you say is angry? And which would you say is frustrated? Which would you say is angry? And which would you say is frustrated? Okay, very good. So now I have this box with some birds. I'm going to angle it just like this. I'm going to actually bring it a little bit closer, just like this. Now I'm going to drag this little pointing tool up and down, and I'd like for you to tell me when it hits a blue bird. Okay? Okay. Good. Now, can you please tell me every time it hits an orange bird? Okay. Tell me every time it hits a leaf. Every time you think it hits a leaf. Okay? Good. Now let me know every time it hits something red. Every time it hits something red. Alright, which bird is the largest bird? Please tell me when I hit the largest bird. Alright, and please tell me, I'll move it this way. Tell me when I hit the smallest bird. Okay? Now tell me when I hit your favorite bird. Alright, now tell me when I hit the bird that is closest to you. Okay, now tell me when I hit the bird that is halfway between you and the furthest bird. Good job. Very good job. Alright, and for the last round of tests, we're going to be examining more how you feel about emotion and your perception of people and how they express themselves, okay? Perfect. Okay. So first, I have these two cards showing two separate people. Can you tell me which person you perceive as older? Which person do you perceive as older? Liz or Daniel? Liz or Daniel? Okay? And in this pairing, who do you perceive as older? Sam or Al? Sam or Al? Okay, very good. Between these two people, who do you perceive as happier? Who do you perceive as happier? Mike or Gabe? Mike or Gabe? Okay, very good. And between these two people, who do you perceive as happier? Mike or David? Mike or David? Okay. Now, of these two people, who do you perceive to be the extrovert and who do you perceive to be the introvert? Sophia or Jordan? Who's extroverted and who do you think is introverted? Okay, very good. Of these two people, who do you perceive to be younger? Who do you perceive to be younger, Ben or Amy? Ben or Amy? Okay. And of these two people, who do you perceive to own a cat? Who do you think owns a cat, Sophia or Emma? Sophia or Emma? Okay. Of these two people, who do you perceive to own a big dog, and who do you think owns a big cat? Big cat, big dog, Rachel or Olivia? Rachel or Olivia? Okay. And of these two people, who do you think is an artist? Who do you think would be the artist? Amy or Olivia? Amy or Olivia? Okay. Of these two people, who do you think was in a fraternity or sorority? Who do you think was in a fraternity or sorority? Very good. And lastly, of these two people, who do you think is working at a coffee shop? Who do you think is working at a coffee shop, Emma or David? Okay. I'm just going to take just a couple of notes here. Perfect. All right. That is the ending of your assessment. Thank you so much for participating, and we will send you your results shortly, but everything seems to be working fine. Thanks for stopping by.